Welcome back, everybody. My name is Taylor Martin. This is the best Damn EDC, and today I want to talk about something a little bit different. I say that a lot, but I mean it this time. I don't mean it any other time. This time I actually mean it. I want to talk to you about some of the discoveries I've made, more specifically, things that I have discovered through EDC, and my favorite discoveries through EDC. That doesn't necessarily mean the gear that I'm talking about today will be EDC gear, but instead related in some way or something that I found through EDC. Some of the pieces that I'm going to talk about in this video will be things that I use and carry every day, but there's a reason for me including them and not, say, all the other EDC stuff. They're a little bit different or special in some way. So with that said, these are my favorite finds through EDC, and let's do the damn thing. So the first item on this list is something that's relatively new. It's something that I've actually worked with JRW Gear on doing a collaboration piece with. I put out my own little topo version of it for carry commission. This is the JRW Gear Tough Clip. But since I started this channel, I have been looking for a way to carry my keys that I didn't hate. And I found a lot that were fine. They were okay. I carried a Griffin pocket tool for a long time and it wasn't bad. It's a fine piece of gear, especially if you're looking for more than just a clip. It's a pry tool, it's a bottle opener, it's a lot of other things. And that's what you get with a lot of other options. I've carried everything from carabiners from Night Highs to $50 to $100 custom carabiners from like Coke Tools. I've carried all of them and tried everything in my power to find something I didn't hate, and most of them were fine until this came along. And when Jamie showed me this, a little prototype of one a few months ago, I told him, I said, I think you knocked this out of the park. This thing is really sweet. So he gave me one of these in titanium to carry for a little bit. And immediately after starting to use this, I was like, this is the key solution that I've been looking for. And yeah, it's simple. It looks really, really, really simple, but it's deceiving because it works way better than you would expect. So the way this works, I guess the best way is to just kind of show you. It just kind of loops on your belt loop very easily, right? Just clips on. That's specifically what this little flared tail is for, so that your belt loop can slide in really easily. And this is a prototype, so it's not bent, but on the official one, this inner piece is kind of angled in just a hair, and I think that's just to give a little bit of a narrower gap for things to slide through, so it's a little less likely for things to come off this. I can say that since using this, I've had nothing fall off of it except for one little key ring item that came off the inside because I had a really, really small split ring. But I use this shackle right here, which is no longer in production, which is really, truly a shame. I use this because it just works really, really well. This is my whole key setup. This right here is my key setup, and it is super minimal. It is very, very nice, and I have no problems with it. Sometimes I'll throw a little keychain flashlight on here as well. I don't know what else to say about it. They work really well. They're made in titanium. Jamie also releases them in copper and brass sometimes, and they're about $45. And I will say at some point we're gonna do another run of these carry commission topo versions of the Tough Clip. So these are two-tone with gold and silver lasering of the topo pattern and the carry commission logo. So these will happen again at some point in the future. But for now, this is easily one of my favorite things I've come across since starting this channel. Next up on this list is something you guys have heard me talk about a lot on this channel, and that is a utility knife, more specifically, the TPT slide. I've talked about a bunch of different utility knives. I always come back to this one, and it's not so much a bias. Yes, I sell my own version of this, but the reason I come back to it is because I like it so much. It's just dead simple. It works. I like it the most out of the ones that I've used. It's a balance of utility and size. I love the TPT slide. The reason I'm including it on a list of things that I would say are normally non-EDC items is this right here. This is, or was, a catalyst for me. This is the original TPT from Big Idea Design. I bought this one right after I started this channel, and I liked it so much I reached out to Chad and Joe at Big Idea Design. I'm like, hey, I really like this. Can I check out the rest of your gear? And then a relationship was born. They're personal friends of mine now. They're really good dudes. But this This TPT in particular, this specific one, which was actually customized by EDC Alabama, this one is kind of special to me. This was like, as I said, a catalyst. This sent me down the rabbit hole of EDC beyond, you know, basically just budget gear. This was the one that I was like, should I spend $65 on a little piece of titanium? I don't know. And I did it and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm glad I bought this thing. I really, really like it. And then you enter with iteration 2 and this adds one-handed operability. A little more difficult to change the blades on it, but that's okay. And it has a pocket clip, and that was it. That was the end of the story. This right here has become my absolute favorite utility knife. This is in my pocket literally every day, no matter what. I always have this with me because it serves a very valid function. I tear down boxes with it. I cut open packages with it. Could I use my knife for those things? Yes, but I would prefer if I'm just tearing down boxes. And I don't mean just cutting open an Amazon package. I mean cutting down cardboard boxes to make them fit in my trash bin. That's why I carry this thing and use it so much. I get a lot of packages and I end up tearing down the boxes with this thing right here. So the TPT slide normally goes for about $80. I think they're out of stock on Big Idea Design's website right now. This is my version of it. It's a little more expensive. If you want the Topo pattern one with my pocket logo, those you can get at carrycommission.com or carry.best. Yeah, same exact tool. It's just got a different finish on it, but that is number 2 on the list. Next up, we have a twofer. And what I mean by that is I have this product on the table, but the real product I want to talk about is a different, similar product, but we have to go through this one to get to that one. This is probably the first legitimate fanny pack I've ever carried, and I fell in love with this thing pretty quickly. The purpose of this one is, as the name suggests, Dad's Fanny, to be kind of like a minimal diaper bag. And you can tell that when you open it up, and I'll show you a comparison of the other one. And for that, I think this thing is great. It's just got a few things inside for organization, just one zippered pocket inside and 2 mesh pockets, and then one big open center pocket. And it's meant for wipes, diapers, snacks, things like that, things that a dad would carry, and you can use it for other things. You have a quick access pocket right here in the back, which is best used for a phone. And then the reason I really liked this thing right off the bat was in the very bottom, you have an extra pocket down here that unzips and will hold a bottle, like a 20-ounce bottle, and maybe even a little bit bigger bottle, and it zips away when you don't need it. Carrying this thing around was really, really nice. I liked it a lot, so much so that this was like my floor solution when I went to Blade Show, but I quickly learned for Blade Show this was not enough. It wasn't big enough, it didn't have the organization I needed, but I love the look of it. I love that wax canvas on the outside, and it's made really well. It's got a fid lock for the closure, so you can quickly take this thing off your shoulder without having to like stretch it over, knock your hat off. You can just do that, drop one side of it, and put it back together. But for every day, this is not exactly what I needed. I think it's a great product, but the better product, without question in my mind, is the Vanquest Dendrite Large. So this is a 4-liter pack. I'm not exactly sure how big this one is, maybe 2 or 3 liters. It's not much bigger, but it's bigger and it has much better organization. The strap is also something that is much, much nicer. This is just a standard like backpack strap, but it's, I guess, a little over an inch, maybe 1 inch strap. This one's 1.5 inches. It's a little bit wider than the Dad's Fanny, not much, but it is a soft seat belt strap. The thing about it is it didn't have a bottle pocket. I was on the show floor at Blade Show and I'm like, Mike, you gotta save me. I need a bigger bag. What do you got? He gave me the Dendrite and then he threw on this little bottle attachment. So this will actually hold up to, I think Mike said, a 64-ounce bottle. This is what I carry in it most often, which is a huge blender bottle. This is 45 ounces. This thing will expand to hold a multitude of bottles, which are much larger than what you can fit in the Dad's Fanny. Just slide this in, strap it down, and you're good to go. Honestly, this is so big in there, it doesn't need to be strapped down. It's really, really tight in there. And you could fit a bigger bottle in there if you really needed to. Talking about the bag and organization, that's where this product shines. You have a front zipper pocket on the Dendrite as well, and a rear access pocket. And then your main pocket, you open this up and you've got tons of little pockets and elastic straps. You've got a mesh pocket up in the front here, which I keep little snacks in. And then on this back, the back piece here is actually hook and loop. So Vanquest sells different attachments or pieces that accessories that you can put in here using Velcro. Makes it super easy to kind of set this up however you want. But the way that I use this bag, I don't carry it every single day. It is not my EDC, but it's something that I carry multiple times a week. This is my gym bag. I throw my wallet, my phone, keys, knife, flashlight, everything that's in my pockets right now, I throw into this bag, throw in my gym shorts, and head to the gym. This is the best bag that I've found to use riding my bike. I have a Super 73 that I ride to and from work. This is the bag that I use when I'm riding that thing around town. It's great. Honestly, it's fantastic. The Dendrite goes for $60. The Dad's Fanny is $50, $55, so they're in the same price range, but for the money, I think this thing is so much better. The next item on this list actually comes from the sponsor of today's video, and you guys have heard me talk about them quite a bit on this channel, and for good reason. This right here, I'm gonna say it over and over and over because it's the truth. This is the best smelling thing on the face of the earth. God, it really is. Like, it's just the combination of scents is perfect. This is Nitro Musk from Musk and Hustle, and this more specifically is Nitro Musk number 24. This is their version of Aventus Creed, and boy, does it smell good. So Nitro Musk from Musk and Hustle is concentrated oil-based fragrances, and they come in 3 different sizes. This is the original, the 10 milliliter pen. They also have a 1.75 milliliter tiny bottle called the Stubby, and then now there is a larger bottle that is 1.5 ounces called the Sumo. So when you go to Musk and Hustle, you can buy 1 pen, or you can get 1 Stubby, or you can get these little sampler packs that have a bunch of different Stubbies inside them so that you can try out a bunch of different fragrances and find your favorites. You can try different fragrances based on different temperatures outside, time of day. You can mix and match all the different scents together and find a really good combination. It's a really, really cool thing. It is maybe a little overwhelming at first, but man, once you get one of these sampler packs, you're gonna realize none of these things smell bad. They all smell so, so good. The fragrances are made from the finest quality, raw, unprocessed ingredients, and all of these little accessories are 100% handmade by makers right here in the USA. And you can put your Stubby on your keychain with one of these little fobs. So this right here, for example, is called the Commuter, and then they have, funnily enough, this one's called the Carpool Lane, and you can take your Stubbies on the go. I don't know that I would necessarily use one with 3 of them, but if I had a favorite scent, like number 24, I would definitely put a little Stubby on a keychain like this. I could, you know, experiment with different scents. They all smell good. I've literally never come across a Musk and Hustle scent that I didn't love, but the number 24, sorry, I'm gonna keep saying it. I told you I would. It's the best scent. This right here is called the Nitro Skin. It comes in this gray, and then I also have a brown one. This is just to kind of protect the pen if you want to bring it with you. And then there's a holder. This is called the Gun. You can put little Stubbies around. It won't work if you've got the leather sleeve on it, but you can put all of your Musk and Hustle here and display it. If you've got some favorites, you can put this on like your nightstand or your counter in your bathroom, and you can access all of your Musk and Hustle that way. Anyway, this is the pen. It's 10 milliliters, and this will go for about 20 bucks. This will last you for a long time. On their website, I think this says it'll last about a month. Typically, I get like 2 to 3 months out of one of these pens, and then the little itty bitty Stubbies, they say this is about a week of fragrance. I've gotten much more out of that. Maybe I'm just not using as much as I should. Regardless, these little Stubbies individually are $4.50, or you can buy one of these sampler packs. There are 12 Stubbies inside each sampler pack. There's $36, and that's about 3 months on the low end of how much fragrance you're gonna get, assuming that you like each one of the fragrances. One of the things that Musk and Hustle came out with last year was fragrances for her, so they now have women's fragrances. So yeah, I think Musk and Hustle is onto some really good stuff. I love their product. They're good people. And thanks again, Musk and Hustle, for sponsoring this video. Okay, it's that time. It's my belt. For the longest time, I was a huge believer in the Core Essentials belt. I like the Core Essentials belt a lot, actually, but it is very stiff. That's just kind of the nature of a gun belt. This is a very, very stiff belt, and that does make it a little uncomfortable at times, but not so uncomfortable that I didn't like wearing it. I like the belt. I like it a lot. But this belt arrived in my P.O. box, I don't know, sometime earlier this year, maybe late last year. I don't remember when it was. I tried it out and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all at first. I was like, this thing is not strong enough. It is an elastic belt. You can see I can stretch it. And I just felt it didn't have enough retention. But after trying it a couple more times, I realized, no, this belt's actually pretty dang good. I like it. And the reason I really like it is you don't have to adjust it. You don't have to fiddle with, you know, getting the right tightness or anything. You set it one time and that's it, right? The clasp on it is a fid lock. It just kind of snaps together and that's it. And it doesn't pull apart, you have to push it. So when you have it on, your body is putting that tension on there and keeping it tight, and then push it in the opposite direction and take it off. It's so easy to use, and it's a super, super comfortable belt. Now, technically, this is also considered a gun belt by Groove Life. I would not recommend this as a gun belt. I'm not even a concealed carry guy, but this belt is not very stiff. And even when I use my Tale of Knives holster with my knife and flashlight and pin on it, it would pull the belt. And it wouldn't hold it very strong, and if I needed to pull something out of the holster, the whole holster would come with it. So for that, I wouldn't recommend this belt. I would say go with the Core Essentials. But an everyday belt, if you're not a concealed carry guy, this thing is awesome. I love this belt. I've become a huge fan, and you can see how much of a tag end I have here. I need to trim it down a little bit. When I first started wearing this belt, I was about 30 plus pounds more than I am now. And you can see right there, this line is where I did have the belt before, and now I've moved it up here. So I've added a good 4 inches, 3-4 inches to the length of the belt, or taken that out of the belt. But something about it, and I don't know the correlation. I really genuinely don't know. I've tried to think about it. As I've lost weight, this belt has been better for me, and I don't know exactly why that is. It's not like my pants were any harder to keep up then. Hell, I'm probably carrying more gear now. They're probably harder to keep up now, but the belt just seems to work better for me as I've gotten smaller. So I don't know the correlation there. Maybe it's just something in my head, but I definitely like the belt a lot better now than I did. They come in a bunch of different colors. They've got cool different finishes for the buckle, and they run from 60 to 65 bucks. I think for that, this is a really, really good buy. I really like the belt. And one more time, that is the Groove Life belt. So the next item on this list isn't exactly a single item as much as it is a product category. This is just one of those things. It's a staple of the EDC world, and everybody should have one. Everybody should have a few of them, and that is a Microfiber Hank. So Mighty Hanks, I think, is probably the big brand, the big name that everybody knows by now. I've got a couple collaboration Hanks with her. Noelle, she made the topo with the orange stitching. People are asking, can I do these again? Maybe, I'm not sure. I need to do more Hanks for sure, but I don't know that I'm bringing back the topo Hanks. We'll see. Rue over in the Discord, or Atlas Creation on Instagram and Etsy. But you've got so many different Hank makers now, and I don't think it devalues Hanks. I think it just adds to the fun and the creativity. There's so many different patterns and configurations and personalization that you can do. And then this one is from Renegade EDC, or Renegade Provisions Co. Suave the Deck. I just think this one's really cool. The point, the key feature that I have to have in a Hank, if I'm having any sort of Hank in my pocket or backpack, it has to have microfiber. This is one of the best things to use to clean off screens, wipe your phone down, wipe off your watch face, whatever, clean up screens, camera lenses, whatever it is. These right here are unmatched, and there are so many different makers in the EDC world and so many different options, and they range from like 15 up to, I've seen 50, 60 bucks depending on, you know, what all's going into the Hank, but I would say on average they're around 20 bucks, and it's worth having 1 or 2 of them, if not more. But I really like them. I don't carry them in my pocket every day right now, but I definitely always have one in the Dendrite. I always have one in my backpack. I got one in my truck. I have them everywhere so that there's always one around. Next up, just a simple product. This is the JW and Combat Beads Precision Driver. You've seen these guys when I do knife maintenance stuff. Anytime I take apart a knife, I am using these right here. And they're kinetic drivers, right? So you can push your palm into the bearing on the bottom of it, and you can kind of just spin this thing and it will loosen screws very quickly. And similarly, if you can tighten screws very quickly. This is 100% a luxury item. It is unnecessary. Any old screwdriver works, any old bit driver works, but these right here are really cool, and they're my favorites. I have several similar style screwdrivers, but this one I think right here is my favorite. This brass one, it's heavy, and that helps, the weight helps in, you know, unscrewing screws faster. This one spins better, the titanium one, but it doesn't have that same weight, and when you're using a kinetic driver, you want that weight to keep it driving. I think they're all out of stock right now, but he does do different drops. So keep an eye over on his website. Sometimes I've seen him over on Urban EDC Supply. I've seen him pop up in other places. And there are other drivers like this one, similar style, kinetic, that spin with this bearing on the back end. Scout Leather Co., Burnley. I've seen a bunch of different ones. These in particular are $100. So these are not cheap. Make no mistake, but they're really cool. And if you wanna, you know, splurge a little bit and have that luxury of a really cool driver that makes knife maintenance or even stuff around the house a little bit easier and faster, these things are awesome. Next up, I'm gonna make this one quick because this one is not gonna pertain to a lot of people. It's got baby powder on it, I think, from the beach still. This is a toiletry bag from Step 22 Gear. This is a limited run of the multicam black that they did, but just pull this little tab here and unroll it, and you have the best organized toiletry bag I've ever seen. They put a ton of thought into every product. So Step 22 Gear sent me several different bags and pieces of gear, and this right here is probably my favorite, and the tool roll. So this is the Hedgehog toiletry bag, and then they have the Pangolin tool roll, which is the exact same product, a little bit bigger, and instead of toiletries, it holds tools. I keep that in my truck, and I keep this in my closet at home in the bathroom, so that when I'm ready to go on a trip, I don't have to think about it. I put extras in here, so I don't have to pack all my stuff. I don't have to pack a toothbrush, toothpaste, or anything. When I'm ready to go on a trip, I grab the whole bag, I'm ready to go. I absolutely love that. What I used before this were DOP kits, just the standard ones like you get at Target or any other store. It's just one big open compartment. You throw all your stuff in it, and it's a big mess. This right here is highly organized. So you've got a zip pocket back here that I can put stuff in. I've got like combs down in that pocket. In this pocket, I've got deodorant, a microfiber Hank, some toothpicks, floss. This whole thing comes off. So if you only need this instead of the whole roll, you can just take this. And in here, I've got some beard oil, allergy meds, it's cologne in there. And then when you're done, just push it back on. And this one also comes off. And just odds and ends in this one. Comb, more beard oil. I don't have this set up right now. I took stuff out so I could have it at home, but you can hang this up. So there's a little hidden hanger right here, and you can hang this up so it's here in front of you while you're using it. It has a built-in mirror, and man, I just think this thing is really, really neat and well thought out. Like these little red tabs, they look like they're just there for fun. What they're there for is to pull against this so it's easier to zip and unzip. Like Step 22 puts a ton of thought into everything. And another little feature to mention, when you do have it hanging, this right here holds stuff if you need it to. But that is what you roll everything up into. So just roll it up when you're done. Pull on this to cinch it up, and you've got your toiletry bag in one neat little package. So this is the Hedgehog. Ugh, that right there. This is the Pangolin tool roll. Really, it's the exact same thing. Ugh. But with tools. So much bigger, much more heavy duty. These are all wrenches. I got different tools all throughout this thing. But the Hedgehog, I think this one is $95 in the multicam black. That was a limited run. It's not available anymore. I think the other is 85 bucks. So that's a lot for a toiletry bag. And I think the Pangolin tool roll is like 170, 180 bucks. Again, not cheap, but this stuff is very, very high quality, and they clearly put a ton of thought into how they work. Next up, I don't go anywhere without these. So Distil Union, it's a company out of South Carolina. They sent me these a long time ago because I have a history of breaking sunglasses. My sister got me some Gooder sunglasses for my birthday this year, which was in April. I wore them for 4 days and sat on them and broke them. I broke every pair of sunglasses I've had before these. In fact, the reason that Distil Union sent me these is I posted about how many times I've broken sunglasses on my story on Instagram. I think last year or 2 years ago, it's probably 2 years ago actually. I had broken so many pairs of sunglasses. I've never lost a pair. I just break them, not even just sitting on them. I literally was putting on a pair of sunglasses at the beach. I had just bought them. I was just raving about them that day on my story on Instagram, and I went, and they just snapped and fell apart. That was it. I didn't do anything to them. I'm not even hard on equipment, but Distil Union's like, try to break ours. And they sent me a pair of these. I loved them, and I didn't break them. I did not break them, but I did discolor them. They sent me a gray pair, and they turned like this weird, ugly brown. I don't know what happened to it. I think it was just from the sun, like UV exposure on the arms of it. So I kept them, and I'm going to try and RIT dye them black, but they sent me another pair of black. And then a few weeks ago, I thought I lost them. I could not find them anywhere, so I immediately bought another pair. Now, the thing to note about these sunglasses, the reason they sent them to me is because they said that they're unbreakable. These things are flexible. You can sit on them, you can bend them, you could break them, but they are meant to withstand just general wear and tear very well, and they have. I have 3 pairs of them. I've not broken a single pair. But the other really cool thing about these sunglasses, they're magnetic. They stick to things. I have stuck these to the side of my truck, thrown some stuff in the bed of my truck, and took off down the highway, and my sunglasses stuck to my truck until I got off the highway. But the point is, these things are extremely comfortable. They are extremely tough. I've not been able to break them. I love these sunglasses, and they're about 65 bucks, so they're not really that expensive at all, and good luck breaking them. I mean, I'm sure somebody could, but I'm hard on equipment apparently, and I've yet to break them. And the other thing, just the last thing I'll mention, when you have a beard and you have beard oil, hanging your sunglasses right here is the worst thing ever because you get oil all over the sunglasses. With these, you can clip them to your shirt, which is weird. People give me weird looks, but that's more comfortable than putting them here. Anyway, you can clip your sunglasses to your sleeve and random places because they are magnetic. Okay, last product. I gotta be quick about this. These are 2 rolls from ARC Company. I think you've seen this one. This is the Frontier. So this is just a tool roll. I use it for knives. I use this to throw down in my backpack to take knives home with me, or if I'm going on vacation or somewhere and I wanna bring a couple of knives with me, this is what I throw down in my backpack. This is the original Frontier. It has 7 pockets and it can hold, I'd say, medium-sized knives. It holds the Shurigorov, my Umnumzan pretty well, but PM2 is a bit of a tight squeeze in here because of the width of the PM2. So I've been using this thing for a long time. It's seen a lot of miles, but recently Mark sent me this. I don't know if this is called the Mini or what, but this is also a Frontier, but much smaller. And I think I'm gonna be using this one a lot more moving forward. They don't have to be just used for knives. You can put multi-tools in there. You could take a spare flashlight or whatever. This could be like your little toolkit for your backpack if you wanted it to be. But this is just a smaller Frontier with 5 pockets instead of 7. Again, I don't know what he calls it. I couldn't find it on his Etsy store. Maybe it's just out of stock. Maybe he hasn't launched it yet. I'm not sure, but this is just the same idea as the Frontier. 2 less pockets or 2 fewer pockets. The Frontier is $52. I would have to assume that this one is just a little bit more affordable, but if you can find them whenever they're in stock, I highly recommend the Frontier tool rolls from ARC Company. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it helpful and enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up button down below, subscribe to see more stuff like this in the future, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. If you want to support what I'm doing here, many of the links down below are affiliate links, so if you click them and purchase anything using those links, we get a little bit of a kickback. And you can also go to patreon.com/bestdamnedc if you want to support there, or carrycommission.com where you can buy shirts just like this and other gear and merch directly from me. But of course, be sure to follow us around the web at bestdamnedc, and until next time, carry on.